morning to all. Today we are going to discuss a topic from 4th module, that is polymers. The term polymer is coined by two small words, poly and mer. Poly means many and mer means parts. So that is, polymer is formed by the linking together of these two words, poly and mer. Like that, polymers are formed by the linking together of small molecules or simple units, and these simple units are called monomers. For example, polyethylene is formed by the polymerization of ethylene molecule. This is the structure of polyethylene, CH2 times. The monomer present in polyethylene is ethylene molecule, CH2 double bond CH2. Then another example is polyvinyl chloride. The monomer is vinyl chloride, and this is the structure of polyvinyl chloride, CH2CHCl n times. So the number of this simple monomer units, the number of units present in a polymer chain, that is called its degree of polymerization, dP. Then see, polyethylene, it is a monomer formed by the same type of, it is a polymer formed by the linking together of same type of monomer units. Therefore, that is called a homopolymer. Then another type of polymer is a copolymer, that is formed by linking together of different type of monomers. For example, butadiene. The monomers present in butadiene are butadiene and styrene. Another example is ABS. In ABS, three monomers are present: acrylonitrile, butadiene and styrene. So depending on the type of monomer units present in a polymer, there are two types of polymers, homopolymer and copolymer. Homopolymer contains same type of monomer units, and copolymer contains different monomer units. Then depending on the polymerization reaction, these polymers can be classified into three: addition polymers, condensation polymers and copolymers. Then addition polymers can again of two types, that is 1,2 addition polymers and 1,4 addition polymers. Then we can see these addition polymerization reaction. Then see some examples for addition polymers. First example is formation of polyethylene. The monomer present in polyethylene is ethylene molecule. Large number of ethylene molecules undergo addition polymerization and form polyethylene. The next example is polypropylene. Propylene is the monomer unit. Propylene undergo addition polymerization and form polypropylene. Then another example is polyvinyl chloride. Monomer unit is vinyl chloride. It undergo addition polymerization and form polyvinyl chloride. On all these three examples, there is simple addition of monomers takes place without elimination of simple molecules. So ethylene undergo addition. Then polypropylene is formed by the simple addition of propylene molecules. PVC is formed by simple addition of vinyl chloride molecules. So in order to undergo an addition polymerization reaction, the monomers must contain unsaturated sites. These unsaturated sites can be broken by using some initiators. Then that produces free radicals and ions, and by using these free radicals and ions, a simple addition of monomer units takes place, and thus the chain grows. Therefore, this type of addition polymerization is also known as chain growth polymerization. So in this addition polymerization, there is no elimination of simple molecules. Therefore, we can say that the polymer formed is an integral multiple of the original monomer taken. Then, moreover, this addition polymerization always leads to the formation of a linear structured polymer. Then next we can see condensation polymerization. In condensation polymerization, the monomers must contain active groups or polar groups. Then there is a condensation reaction takes place between these active groups and or polar groups, and there is elimination of simple molecule takes place that results a condensation polymer. So we can see some examples for condensation polymerization. First one is the formation of nylon 6,6. The monomers present in nylon 6,6 are hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. So this is hexamethylene diamine and this is adipic acid. So a large number of hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid undergo condensation polymerization. Then hexamethylene diamine contains an amino group. Then adipic acid contains a carboxylic acid group. So there is a condensation reaction between this amino group and the carboxylic acid group takes place. Then there is an elimination of water molecule takes place and the result nylon 6,6. Then the structure of nylon 6,6 is this is nylon 6,6. The name indicates there are 6 number of carbon atoms in each monomer units. Hexamethylene diamine, 6 carbon atoms are present, and in adipic acid also 6 carbon atoms are present. Therefore, the name is nylon 6,6. So this is an example for condensation polymerization. So condensation polymerization occurs between different monomeric units which contain active groups or polar groups. Then there is a condensation reaction takes place, and that reaction takes place with the elimination of simple molecules like water, ammonia, HCl, etc. Then that results condensation polymer. Then these condensation polymer can form by step growth polymerization. That is, this degree of polymerization of this polymer depends on the number of active sites present on the monomer units. So condensation reaction can take place from every part of the molecule. Therefore, step growth takes place, and that is also known as step growth polymerization. So that is about the addition and condensation polymerization. Then we can see a comparison between these addition and condensation polymerization. So in addition polymerization, the polymerization takes place polymers that contains unsaturated sites, whereas in condensation polymerization that takes place between monomers, different monomers that contain active groups or polar groups. Then addition polymerization always takes place without elimination of simple molecules, but condensation polymerization takes place with the elimination of simple molecules like water, ammonia, HCl, etc. Then in addition polymerization, simple addition of monomers takes place. Therefore, we can say that the polymer formed is an integral multiple of the original monomer taken. But in condensation polymerization, there is elimination of molecules takes place. Therefore, we cannot say the polymer formed after polymerization is an integral multiple of the original monomer taken. Then, in addition polymerization, that always leads to the formation of a linear structured polymer. But in condensation, there are depending on the number of active sites that can lead to branched structured polymers and 3-dimensional network structured polymers also. Then the third type of polymerization reaction is copolymerization. So copolymerization is the linking together of 2 or more different type of monomers in different proportion, resulting in a polymer with more than one repeating unit. Then we can see different examples for these copolymers. First example is, you are familiar with the synthetic rubber, that is butadiene styrene rubber, BS, or also that is known as Buna-S. The name stands for Buna, Bu stands for 1,3-butadiene, and NS stands for the initiator used in the reaction, that is sodium, and S stands for styrene. Then we can see the formation of BS or Buna-S. The monomers are 1,3-butadiene. Butadiene. So this is Buna-S. Then see the reaction. Different monomers 1,3-butadiene and styrene taken in different proportion undergo copolymerization and form Buna-S. So we can change the percentage or proportion of these monomers, so we can vary the properties of these polymers, so they possess different applications in every engineering field. So depending on the monomer units, there are different types of copolymers. So if we take two different type of monomers A and B, we can see the different type of polymers, copolymers formed. So for example, we copolymerize two monomers A and B. So it can link like this. Like this. There is no definite pattern for the monomer units for linking. So that is called a random copolymer. Then it can also link like this. Alternately, this A and B arranged in the polymer chain. So that is called an alternating copolymer. Then it can also link like this. A block of the first monomer, then a block of the second monomer, then a block of first monomer, like that. That is called a block copolymer. Then lastly, can also form like this. The main chain consists of the first monomeric unit, and there can be branches with the second monomer units. That is known as graft copolymer. So depending on the proportion of monomeric units, there are 4 types of copolymers: alternating copolymer, random copolymer, block copolymer, and graft copolymer. So next we can see an important type of polymers, that is conducting polymers. Normally polymers are insulators, but this conducting polymers exhibits conductivity like that of metals, and that are called conducting polymers. Common examples are polyacetylene, polyaniline, polypyrrole, etc. Then these conducting polymers can be classified into two types: intrinsically conducting polymers and extrinsically conducting polymers. Intrinsically conducting polymers, that is known as ICP, and extrinsically conducting polymers ECP. Then intrinsically conducting polymers again classified into two types: conducting polymers with conjugated pi electrons, and the second variety is doped conducting polymers. Then extrinsically conducting polymers are classified into two types: conductive element filled polymers blended conducting polymers. So conducting polymers are classified into two types: intrinsically conducting polymers and extrinsically conducting polymers. Then intrinsically conducting polymers are again classified into two types: conducting polymers with conjugated pi electrons and doped conducting polymers. So conducting polymers generally exhibits a conductivity like that of metals. Then these intrinsically conducting polymers exhibits a conductivity like that of metals due to the presence of extensive conjugation in their carbon backbone. Then that is divided into two types: conducting polymers with conjugated pi electrons and doped conducting polymers. So first we can see conducting polymers with conjugated pi electrons. Then we can explain the mechanism of conduction by taking an example, that is polyacetylene. The structure of polyacetylene is then this can also be represented like this. Alternate double bond and single bond, that is conjugated pi electrons are present in the carbon backbone. Then due to these conjugated pi electrons, every pi electron orbitals present in each carbon present in the polymer backbone undergo overlapping. So we can represent the orbitals present in the polymer backbone. These are the carbon backbone present in the polymer. This is the pi orbitals present in the carbon backbone. These pi orbitals can overlap in the entire polymer backbone, and that leads to the formation of an energy band. So this is the overlapping of orbitals. and that leads to the formation of energy band. One of the band is a valence band and the second is a conduction band. Valence band is the energy band that is the highest occupied energy level. Then conduction band is the lowest unoccupied energy level. The energy difference between this valence band and conduction band, that is called the energy gap. So when an electron residing in the valence band jump into the conduction band, that polymer exhibits conductivity. So that is the conduction mechanism in this conducting polymers, like polymers possess this conjugated pi electrons. Then these conjugated pi electron conducting polymers are easily oxidized or reduced. Therefore, because it possesses high low oxidation potential and high electron affinity, therefore this can be easily oxidized and reduced. So we can, by oxidation or reduction, we can improve the conductivity of these polymers, and that is the next category of polymers, that is doped conducting polymers. So doped conducting polymers are obtained by increasing the conductivity of these conjugated pi electron conducting polymers by oxidation or reduction. So doping can be of two types, p doping and n doping. In p doping, we carried out oxidation reaction. In n doping, we are carrying a reduction. So that is also known as oxidative doping or reductive doping. In p doping, some oxidizing agents like Lewis acids are added into the polymer system. Therefore, oxidation takes place and release of electron takes place. That leads to the formation of positive charges or holes. We can represent that reaction by taking the example of polyacetylene. This is polyacetylene structure. Then oxidation takes place. Oxidation takes place. So what happens? A release of electrons takes place in this polymer backbone. So one electron releases from this. So consider the electrons present, one of the electron present in this bond releases. So what happens? A positive charge is created on this carbon and a single electron is present in this carbon. So this is termed as a polaron. So in the next step, the second electron is also released from the polymer backbone. So another positive charge is created in this carbon. So that is known as a bipolaron. These polarons are delocalized positive charges or holes. Therefore, what happens? The conductivity of the original conducting polymer again improved, or that shows better conductivity. So, we can improve the conductivity of these polymers by p doping or oxidative doping. So, in p doping, oxidation takes place and the release of electrons takes place, creating positive charge, and that leads to the better conduction. The next is reductive doping or n doping. In n doping, some reducing agents are added into the polymer backbone. So what happens? We can see this is the polyacetylene molecule. reducing agents are added, therefore reduction takes place. So it donates electrons into the polymer backbone, so it gets additional negative charge or electrons. This is also called a polaron. Then again one more electron is added into the system, therefore negative charges are created in this, therefore that is known as bipolaron. So these electrons are delocalized electrons throughout the entire polymer backbone. So what happens? Its conductivity again improved. So by N-doping we can improve the conductivity of those conducting polymers which possess conjugated pi electrons. So N-doping and p-doping. Doping is the process of increasing the conductivity of these conducting polymers originally having conjugated pi electrons by oxidation or reduction. There are two types of doping, p-doping and n-doping. In p-doping oxidation takes place and in n-doping reduction takes place. So these are intrinsically conducting polymers. Then next category, that is extrinsically conducting polymers, that is formed by we are adding some impurities into the conducting non-conducting polymers. So these extrinsically conducting polymers ECP are of two types. First one, conductive element filled polymers. And the second one is blended conducting polymers. In conductive element filled polymers, we are adding some conducting materials into a non-conducting polymer. Conducting materials like carbon black, carbon fibers, metal fibers and metal powders can be added into a non-conducting polymer, so it becomes conducting material. Then next is blended conducting polymers. In this case, we can add a conducting polymer into a non-conducting polymer, so it imparts some conductivity into the original one. So that is called blended conducting polymers. Then these conducting polymers possess special applications in every field. They are used as biosensors, then converting solar energy, then they are used in various electronic fabrication of various electronic devices due to its conductivity. So these are there are wide varieties of applications for these conducting polymers. So dear students, find more and more applications of these conducting polymers in your engineering field. Thank you.